Well, here we are again, folks. How's everybody doing? So I mentioned in a previous video that I'd been given a big box of donations by a guy called Eddie. He'd been clearing out his house and he's off abroad, and he asked if I would like to have a load of stuff. So there was a lot of stuff in the box, some really nice things. Some of them I'm going to keep, some I'm going to give away. This is one of the things I want to keep. It's a Hornby Class 110 car DMU in BR green. The dummy and middle cars have got some wheel issues, which I'll look at when I get to the bench. But let's just see if this power car goes. Let's just turn on the power. Nothing happening there. So yeah, this is running, but it's very lumpy, and it doesn't seem to want to run at slow speed. So I think the motor's just needing a good service. It'll be a wee ring field in here, so should be a fairly straightforward service, and then I think this will run fine. Let's back it into the shed and get it to the bench and see what's what. Okie dokie then, let's get a look at the power car. Seems to be in reasonable condition. A wee bit scuffing on the roof. Wheels need a clean. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I think the real issue is with these. This is the dummy car, and we've got a problem with the wheels. These wheels have just popped out the axles. Let's just see if it's just a case of popping them back in. No. So the end's actually broken off there. So I think if we just replace that. That one's okay. Is this the same? Yeah, just the ends there have worn flat. What's the middle car like? That seems okay. So I just need a couple of these to sort that problem. I think the middle car does look as if it's had a bit of an argument with a soldering iron. That is a bit unsightly, so we'll maybe see if we can do something about that. These do have these quite long corridors, which is to try and close up that gap. So yeah, I mean that's still the kind of gap it's going to have. So I'm going to take these couplings off, and we'll fit some magnetic couplings and get them closer, and I think we'll be fine. Right, okay, let's go look at this motor. Let's take this front buggy out first. Just connect it up to that wire. It just comes off. Lots of fluff to clean out of there. This is nice and easy to work on, don't have to take anything apart. These bogies just pop out. Nice and simple. There's a little ring field. Yeah, I think this just needs a good service. It's all very dry and a bit dirty, but I've seen an awful lot worse. Let's just have a wee look at the brushes. Those brushes are fine. Yeah, the brushes have fallen out. The commutator doesn't look too bad. There's some nasty sticky oil in there. There we go. A bit stubborn. Clip. Check the gears. Plug that. Clip it at the back. Clips down in there. I'm going to have to take the wheels off. So fine. There's the commutator, a bit dirty, but nothing drastic. But otherwise, in very good condition. We've got some. Oh wow! We've got some severe fluffage here. Gee whiz. No wonder this wasn't running too well. I think that's been run on the old carpets. Could state that. scoosh out these shafts. Come on. The old T-cut on the commutator. That's a scoosh. There you go, so that clean. Give this a bit of a scoosh because it's got a lot of sticky old oil in it. Okay, need to let that all evaporate off. Let's have a look at this bogey. Get a lot of fluff, static grass. Okay, that's that all cleaned up. Put that back on, back onto there. The brushes are in very good condition, so pop them back in. Just give the brushes a wee bit of a bend. Right, okay, get some oil in there, and just behind the pinion gear. It should go with the battery. Nice, okay. A little bit of fresh oil in the axles. Put that on loosely just now. Right, we'll squeeze these wheels in the vise till they're about 14.1. Get some grease on the spindles for the gears. Refit the clip. Sticky gear oil on the pinion gear. Stick a battery on that. Right, okay. Plug that onto there. It'll fit in like so. That'll plug onto there. And fits in like that. Try this on the test track. That's nice. Okay. I think that's the power car done. We shall have a look at the middle car and the dummy car. Okay, so this is the dummy car with its iffy wheels. I've got some replacements here. Let's just pop these in and see if this will work okay. Yeah, that's fine. That'll then go in there like that. Put that in. It's fine. Oh, there's some soldering damage to the side there as well. I didn't spot that before. Soldering irons and model trains. That's a pity. Yeah, I think we'll have to do something about that. Right, okay. Let's pop this wheel in here just now. There we go. Right, so what I want to do now is take these couplings off, and they're all riveted on, so they need to be drilled out. What a surprise, my drill's flat. I think I'll leave this today. I'll charge my drill up and I'll come back to this tomorrow. We'll do the couplings and we'll see if we can do something about the soldering iron damage to this coach and the dummy there and the roof of the middle coach. Power car seems okay though, and it's running fine now. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, next day, drill charged up. I really must get myself a small corded one. Right, okay, let's get these couplings off. Just drill out these rivets. Right, that's all my couplings off. Okay, so I'll position these so the corridors are almost touching, but not quite. The buffers are actually behind the end of the corridor, which is good. And that means there'll be a fair bit of movement. So I don't think I have to alter the buffers. When I do this to coaches normally, I take the buffer off and cut the socket back a bit to move the buffers further back. You know, the buffers really need to be behind the end of the corridor for close coupling. but these should be fine. So it really should just be a case of gluing on the magnetic couplings, and that'll be that. The magnetic couplings I'm going to use are ones from Porterhouse Models. They're fairly cheap, get them on eBay, and they're quite good because they have articulation, so there's lots of movement from side to side, but I don't bother with NEM pockets. I'll just glue them straight on. Probably okay, but unfortunately there's a big gap there in the hole there where the rivet went, and to get these couplings into the position that I really want, which is about just so the end of the magnet is poking past the corridor, I'm going to have to cut that back a wee bit, and by the time we do that there's going to be nothing to glue the coupling onto. So I need to fit something across there. I need to fill in that gap. That's a bit of a pain. I think the old cable ties are going to come into play here. Yep, that'll go in there fine. So glue that on and then glue the coupling to the cable tie. Actually, that'll do it. That gives me, yeah, that's all I need to do is glue bits of cable tie onto those gaps. A number of times I end up using cable ties. Jolly useful things. Just get some glue on there. That'll be fine, so I just want to do that for every one. Okay, so I've glued a piece of cable tie across the gap there, and now I can just glue the couplings directly onto the little bit of cable tie. Okay, just glued that on, so there we go, there's the coupling just glued on. If you really wanted to fit NEM pockets you could, but I find if you fit a NEM pocket, the coupling can, you know, move back and forward a wee bit, you get a bit of play, which I really don't want. So I'm hoping that's set about right. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, right, going to have to make an adjustment here because there's quite a bit of play in the bogie. So I need to make sure I push this bogie that way and then fit the coupling just into the right position. So I can peel that off, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip the end of the coupling off there so I can shove it back just a wee bit further. There, and we'll do the same with this one. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of play there, but that's just the way these bogies are. But I think that'll probably do it, because when they're pushed together, you can see there's just a tiny wee gap there, but it will open up. So when the power car is pulling, it'll do that, and then when it's pushing, it'll do that. But I think that'll be okay. So I'll set the other ones exactly the same. Okay, so that's my magnetic couplings on. We'll see how they go around the layout. They might need a wee adjustment or two yet, but hopefully that will be that. So now we can look at the soldering iron damage on this roof, and I think it was on the dummy car, wasn't it? Yeah, there's a bit of damage there. It's not too serious, but we'll see what happens when we rub it down. We'll just rub it down so it's smooth, and then it should repaint okay. I've got a tin of the Tamiya primer, which will do the job. Into a finer grade sandpaper. Let's get the dusty brush onto this. Okay, that's all nice and smooth. So yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do is just mask the roof off and give that a blast with the primer. I'm probably going to have to, actually that one's got a wee bit of damage as well, so I'll probably have to spray all three. Okay, that's that one masked off. We'll need to do the others now. Right, they're all masked up. I'm going to give them a blast with Tamiya Surface Primer. It won't need anything else. That colour will be ideal for these roofs. But I'm going to go and do this outside because this stuff absolutely stinks. Okay, roof's resprayed. We'll take this masking tape off. Hasn't taken any of the other paintwork with it, thankfully. I was a wee bit worried. And there we go. Looks pretty good, actually. Ah, dear. No, that's... I've got a little bit of bleed gone under the tape there. That's a pity. So a wee bit touching up to do here. And on that white paintwork there, that's annoying. Slightly careless application of the masking tape. Apart from that, that has sorted my roofs. We'll get to work on this damage here, and then when we're touching up the paint on that, we'll do these white ends as well. So I'm just going to rub this down. Thankfully it's not into the badge or any of the lining, it's just there, and there's a little bit in the window frame there, which will be a bit trickier to fix, but we'll give it a go. I still don't have my airbrush working, so this will have to be touched up by hand. Right, that's that rubbed down. See, without spraying the entire panel, it's always going to be noticeable. As long as this looks better than the soldering iron damage that was there, then it's a result. There we go. I don't think that's too bad. It'll do me. This paint is awful stuff. Real match. It probably works well with an airbrush, but off a brush, it's kind of watery. Just touching on the black here because that primer paint seeped under the masking tape a little bit. I didn't really do a very good job of masking. Okay, so there we go. It's been serviced, re-wheeled, couplings replaced, and the paintwork touched up. Let's go and see how it goes around the layout. Okay, here she comes. Well, there we are, that's this 3-car DMU sorted out. Yeah, it just needed a service really, some replacement wheels and a bit of a paint job. I'm still not happy with the connecting corridors. You know, those extra long ones look a bit daft to me, so I may well see if I can replace them and try to get even closer coupling. Because apart from that, I think this looks really nice. I do like DMUs. Also, I think the power car could do with some added weight at the front. It's a bit rear heavy, and there's not a lot of downforce on the front bogie, so I think that's another thing I might look at. But thanks very much to Eddie for sending this to me, along with everything else. I think it'll look really nice on the new layout when it gets done. More on that soon, by the way. Meantime, this has got a timetable to keep, so I'll catch you later, folks.